All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another read along with the Chattering Magpie and the rest of this mischief. So happy to see you after a week's absence. Hello, gang. How are you?
I'm well. And you?
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hello. How is everybody doing today?
Wow, I see Patrick has discovered a new voice within himself. Good for you, Patrick. Explore your inner VA. Yes. Let's see. So, you guys will excuse me. I realized last week that I canceled the read-alongs, but I didn't post the cancellation or that we would not be having them anywhere else. I thought I had posted it on the channel, but I didn't. So for that, I apologize for the confusion, and I'm just happy that you're here. Today we're going to be picking up the Count of Monte Cristo again. We're going to be reading chapter 6, and it's quite a lot of characters, but we are ready, and all of our readers are willing to take on 1, 2, 3, in some cases 4 characters. Wow, Patrick. 4, I see.
Yeah,
Hey.
we were gonna give one of these roles to you, but then we realized it's the same color as another one, and we're like, yeah, I might as well take it.
Okay. Wow. That was very, very smart, yes. So before we actually get started though, just want to read the comments for the early gang. Teal, you were the very first one, and you're unusually quiet. Maybe those of us who are louder did not let you speak. Teal, speak to me, talk to me. I need to do a mic check.
Hello.
Mic check. Keep talking, please.
Actually, good to do a mic check because sometimes my microphone fuzzes out, right? Be sure to tell me.
Not often, but I do like to have people talk so I can do mic check.
I feel like Magpie's calling me out for being such a talkative person.
No, I was talking about Little Purple Butterfly. She's just a chatterbox. We did.
Now you just mess with me now.
We did say hello to Little Purple
I'd like
Butterfly.
to be, but I can't leave today.
I know. I'm gently, ever so gently and lovingly teasing you, darling. I'm happy that you're here, and those of you who are part of the gang who probably can't read or are driving or whatever, just hop aboard the voice channel and just hang out with us. We'd love to have you. Other than that, let me see. Teal, you were the first one. Let me read your comments. It says, while I've been galloping through Uma Musume lately, it's time to turn toward a different kind of race, the political and moral kind. Ooh, yes. Could you enlighten this person as to what is Uma Musume, please?
It's a phone game where you do horse races. The horses are girls, and it's more like track and field, but you just train them up and you watch them go.
Oh, so
Are you familiar with the concept of gacha?
No, I don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
So basically, you have the ability to summon or acquire various characters, and it's kind of randomized. So it's a little bit like gambling. Just there's no material rewards.
Oh, kind of like the latest Isekai game. Is that a gacha?
Yeah, like the one that now has Ferdinand in mine, exactly.
Yes, I have been
it's free advertising for this random Japanese gacha that you will probably never see in America.
I know, that is so sad. I have been delighting in all of the screenshots and screen caps of Ferdinand with fighting and being like good grief and all those delightful screenshots. I'm saving them on my phone. You know what? Like, you know how like people say like there's a bit of etiquette about like when you hand over a person your phone to look at a picture, like that, like nobody should be, oh, let me continue to scroll like anyway, right? That's how it should be, right? Well, no. in my family, my mom, she's like, oh, that's nice. Let me see the next one. And she scrolls and scrolls and scrolls. So it was my sister's birthday not too long ago. And I showed like, hey, mom, here's a picture of like blah, 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 of like when we were with the friends. And she's like, oh, that's nice. And she kept doing it. And she hit it because it's the photo roll. It kept looking at pictures of like the screen caps and stuff from the game. She's like, what is all this? So I didn't know how to explain. I just said, it's a game. And she's like, are you playing?
I was going to say, she probably saw something that she shouldn't have seen, and now you're desperately trying to explain.
You know what? As obsessed as I am with Ferdinand, I would never disrespect him by having lewds of him on my phone. No, I am innocent of such shenanigans.
You know, the more you say it, the less I believe you.
You guys are so evil-minded sometimes. All right, I am innocent. Okay?
I was going to call Cap, but she kind of called herself out on that one.
Oh, whatever.
Now, the real question is, if there is a bookworm gotcha game, how many Wilfreds and I'm trying to remember other terrible characters. Oh no,
Detlands.
How many Wilfords and Detlands would you suffer through to get your Ferdinand PNG?
Can I kill them before, and then like if I kill them or let them die, do I refresh and get new characters? Like, how do you refresh characters?
I have no idea. I've never played one.
Oh, okay. Well,
Wait, why would you try to kill Wilfred? He's done nothing wrong.
Let's not go into that because we do have a Wilfred hate mob in this server. So, all right, you guys, we're getting a little sidetracked. Let me continue reading the. But anyway, Teal, I am happy you're here. Thank you for introducing a topic for conversation. I was like, what do we converse about today? I'm like, I have no idea. I can always count on you guys, and on my ignorance of all things pop and media and what's happening. I have no idea, you guys. All right, chapter 6 of the Count of Monte Cristo. We're introduced. Oh, this is Teal, by the way. She's telling us. We're introduced to Gerard de Villefort, a man whose ambition runs swift and dangerous. Let's see how he enters the track of the story. Ooh, I watched the movie. Ooh, yeah. I wonder how he'll be different from the movies. Let's see. Ye was also here. Says last time on Count of Monte Cristo, Edmond, while getting ready to marry the love of his life, was arrested. Yes, he was. Meanwhile, Danglars and Gaspard discuss what the former may or may not have done. That's right. There were several people who were involved in getting Edmond into trouble. I mean, on top of Edmond receiving letters from freaking Napoleon or whatever, that was already pretty bad. But there is Danglars, Gaspard, and do you guys remember the name of the other ne'er-do-weller?
Ferdinand. Wait,
no.
Ferdinand, yes!
A pox on you,
I didn't
never.
have to say it.
I did set you guys up for it, so okay. Yes, Fernand. In this house, we say Fernand, not Ferdinand. Yeah, so those are the three people who are, brought about Edmond's fall from grace. Danglars is jealous of his professional advancement. Oh my gosh, Fernand is jealous of his love life. And, well, what can we say about the other guy? Not Gaspard, the other one, Caderousse. Caderousse was the third one. Well, there'll be another one, I guess. Caderousse was just a stupid neighbor who is a drunkard, who is... Yeah, he's not the best person.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, he's not a good person. He did have a twinge of conscience about it, but he was convinced all too easily by Danglars that if he fessed up, that he would be in trouble too. So he told him basically, shut up, or, it's too late. So he's like, okay, whatever, I guess.
Good old Good old blackmail.
He was convinced by facts and logic. Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Who else do we have here? We have Little Butterfly, who is taking care of the doggo, but happy to see you here, Butterfly. Teal also says, also full disclosure, a fire has apparently started a few thousand feet. Oh, dang! Are you kidding?
It'll be fine. No, but I don't know how large the fire is.
A few thousand
But
feet.
I do keep hearing helicopters.
Okay.
I remember when I lived in.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I remember when I lived in Washington. There was, I think, a fire that started around Mount Rainier, and the entire area ended up looking like Silent Hill. There was so much smoke in the air that it kind of looked like that fictional video game city.
Yeah, they can be scary. I hope, Teal, that please, if for any reason, I hope you don't need to, evacuate or whatever. But just it's okay. We'll understand if you have to do other things or whatever. Right. Okay, but I pray and I hope it doesn't come to that. Okay. A few thousand feet. 5280,000 feet. Okay, yeah. Okay, never mind. All right, you guys. With putting aside the fact that there's 5,000 feet in a mile, and trying not to account for wind velocity and whatnot, and worried about my buddy Teal here, we're going to start reading.
Don't worry about it. It's totally safe.
It'll be
the
safe.
Helicopters have this.
Okay.
Yes. Don't worry about it.
Yes. You guys, I worry a lot about friends and stuff when stuff is around. So yeah. All right. Today we're reading chapter 6, and we have quite a lot of characters going on. As Theo so helpfully informed us, we are being introduced to a new character and some circumstances that are well, you'll see. So today we're gonna have Theo read Marquise de Saint. Hold on, I wrote it wrong. Marquise de Saint-Méran, maybe. René's Friend, and Miscellaneous Guest 3. Those will be read by Theo. Gérard de Villefort, The Old Nobleman, Marquise de Saint-Méran. Hey, wait a second. There's 2 Marquise de Saint-Méran, and they're both being read by Patrick and Theo?
It's the husband and the wife.
Yes.
Oh, Marquise and Marquise. Okay, got it.
Marquise and Marquise.
Okay. I wish I knew. Teal, you who know the languages, can you say Marquise the female and Marquise the male?
I sure wish I could. I think you're pretty much on point with the Marquise.
Marquise.
Just an unvoiced schwa at the end.
Okay. All right, we got this, gang. And Miscellaneous Guest is Patrick as well. So those are 4. And then Ye is going to round out the numbers by reading René, Comte de Salvieux, and Miscellaneous Guest 2. So many French names, you guys. I don't know if my high school education of French is going to suffice, but we'll do our level best, you guys. I am excited.
Where are our French Canadian members who could probably say this better? Like Noemi.
They'll probably just troll us. And we'll get nothing done. All right.
Oh, you stupid Americans! You can't even say the simple words.
Oh no. I claim the fact that I am not an American and English is my second language, so I can at least fall back on that. All right, you guys. Let's read chapter 6. Chapter 6 is the Deputy Procureur du Roi. In one of the aristocratic mansions built by Puget in the Rue du Grand Cour, opposite Medusa Fountain, a second marriage feast was being celebrated, almost at the same hour with the nuptial repast given by Dantès. In this case, however, although the occasion of entertainment was similar, the company was strikingly dissimilar. instead of a rude mixture of sailors, soldiers, and those belonging to the humblest grade of life. The present assembly was composed of the very flower of Marseille society, magistrates who had resigned their office during the usurper's reign, officers who had deserted from the imperial army and joined forces with Condé, and younger members of families brought up to hate and execrate the man whom 5 years of exile would convert into a martyr, and 15 of restoration elevate to the rank of a god. The guests were still at table, and the heated and energetic conversation that prevailed betrayed the violent and vindictive passions that then agitated each dweller of the South, where, unhappily, for 5 centuries, religious strife had long given increased bitterness to the violence of party feeling. The emperor, now king of the petty island of Elba, after having held sovereign sway over 1/2 of the world, counting as his subjects a small population of 5 or 6,000 souls, after having been accustomed to hear the Vive Napoleon of 120 millions of human beings uttered in 10 different languages, was looked upon here as a ruined man, separated forever from any fresh connection with France or claim to her throne. The magistrates freely discussed their political views. The military part of the company talked unreservedly of Moscow and Leipzig, while the women commented on the divorce of Josephine. It was not over the downfall of the man, but over the defeat of the Napoleonic idea, that they rejoiced, and in this they foresaw for themselves the bright and cheering prospect of a revivified political existence. An old man, decorated with the cross of Saint Louis, now rose and proposed the health of King Louis the what number is that? The 18th. It was the Marquis de Saint-Méran. This toast, recalling at once the patient exile of Hartwell and the peace-loving King of France, excited universal enthusiasm. Glasses were elevated in the air à l'anglaise, and the ladies, snatching their bouquets from their fair bosoms, strewed the table with their floral treasures. In a word, an almost poetical fervor prevailed.
Ah,
said the Marquise de Saint-Méran, a woman with a stern, forbidding eye, though still noble and distinguished in appearance, despite her 50 years.
ah, these revolutionists, who have driven us from those very possessions they afterwards purchased for a mere trifle during the Reign of Terror, would be compelled to own, were they here, that all true devotion was on our side, since we were content to follow the fortunes of a falling monarch, while they, on the contrary, made their fortune by worshipping the rising sun. Yes, yes, they could not help admitting that the king, for whom we sacrificed rank, wealth, and station, was truly our Louis the well-beloved, while their wretched usurper has been, and ever will be, to them their evil genius, their Napoleon the accursed. Am I not right, Villefort?
I beg your pardon, madam. I really must pray you to excuse me, but in truth, I was not attending to the conversation. Marquis,
Interposed the old nobleman who had proposed the toast.
let the young people alone. Let me tell you, in one's wedding day, there are more agreeable subjects of conversation than dry politics.
Never mind, dearest mother,
said a young and lovely girl with a profusion of light brown hair and eyes that seemed to float in liquid crystal.
'Twas all my fault for seizing upon Monsieur de Villefort, so as to prevent his listening to what you said. But there, now take him. He's your own for as long as you like, Monsieur Villefort. I beg to remind you my mother speaks to you.
If the Marquis will deign to repeat the words I but imperfectly caught, I shall be delighted to answer.
Said Monsieur de Villefort.
Never mind, Renee,
replied the Marquis, with a look of tenderness that seemed out of keeping with her harsh, dry features. But, however all other feelings may be withered in a woman's nature, there is always one bright smiling spot in the desert of her heart, and that is the shrine of maternal love.
I forgive you. What I was saying, Villefort, was that the Bonapartists had not our sincerity, enthusiasm, or devotion.
They had, however, what supplied the place. Blah, I'm sorry. They had, however, what supplied the place of those fine qualities.
Replied the young
And
man.
that was fanaticism. Napoleon is the Mahomet of the West, and is worshipped by his commonplace but ambitious followers. Not only as a leader, and lawgiver, but also as the personification of equality.
He, Napoleon, the type of equality. For mercy's sake, then, what would you call Robespierre? Come, come, do not strip the latter of his just rights to bestow them on the Corsican, who, to my mind, has usurped quite enough.
Nay, madam, I would place each of these heroes on his right pedestal, and that of Robespierre on his scaffold, in the place Louis XV, that of Napoleon on the column of the place Vendôme. The only difference consists in the opposite character of the equally advocated by these two men. Of the equality advocated by these two men. Wow. In I'm sorry, I am having a hard time reading today. Holy cow.
Yeah, he's a talky sort.
One is the equality that elevates, the other is the equality that degrades. One brings a king within reach of the guillotine, and the other elevates the people to a level with the throne. Observe.
Said Villefort, smiling.
I do not mean to deny that both these men were revolutionary scoundrels, and that the 19th Thermidor and the 4th of April in the year 1814 were lucky days for France, worthy of being gratefully remembered by every friend to monarchy and civil order, and that explains how it comes to pass that, fallen as I trust he is forever, Napoleon has still retained a train of parasitical satellites. Still, Marquise, it has been so with other usurpers. Cromwell, for instance, who was not half so bad as Napoleon, had his partisans and advocates.
Do you know, Villefort, that you are talking in a most dreadfully revolutionary strain? But I excuse it. It is impossible to expect the son of a Girondin to be free from a small spice of the old leaven.
A deep crimson suffused the countenance of Villefort.
Oh, wait, that's me. 'Tis true, madame, that my father was a Girondin, but he was not among the number of those who voted for the king's death. He was an equal sufferer with you during the Reign of Terror, and had well nigh lost his head on the same scaffold on which your father perished.
True.
Replied the Marquis, without wincing in the slightest degree, the tragic remembrance thus called up.
But bear in mind, if you please, that our respective parents underwent persecution and proscription from diametrically opposite principles. In proof of which I may remark that while my family remained among the staunchest adherents of the exiled princes, your father lost no time in joining the new government, and that while the citizen Noirtier was a Girondin, the Count Noirtier became a senator.
Dear mother,
Interposed
you
Renee.
know very well it was agreed that all these disagreeable reminiscences should be forever laid aside.
Patrick.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to eat.
Do you need a break?
No, I'm good, I'm sorry. Suffer me also, madam, to add my earnest request to Mademoiselle de Saint-Méran's that you will kindly allow the veil of oblivion to cover and conceal the past, that avails recrimination over matters wholly past. Recall? For my own part, I have laid aside even the name of my father, and altogether disown his political principles. He was, nay, probably may be still a Bonapartist, and is called Noirtier? Noirtier? I, on the contrary, am a staunch royalist, and style myself de Villefort. Let what may remain of revolutionary sap exhaust itself and die away with the old trunk, and condescend only to regard the young shoot which has started up at a distance from the parent tree, without having the power any more than the wish to separate entirely from the stock from which it sprung. Which one is this?
The Marquis.
Oh, that's me again. Bravo, Villefort!
Cried the Marquis.
Excellently well said. Come now, I have hopes of obtaining what I have been for years endeavoring to persuade the Marquise to promise, namely, a perfect amnesty and forgetfulness of the past.
With all my heart, let the past be forever forgotten. I promise you it affords me as little pleasure to revive it as it does you. All I ask is that Villefort will be firm and inflexible for the future in his political principles. Remember also, Villefort, that we have pledged ourselves to His Majesty for your fealty and strict loyalty, and that our recommendation, the King consented to forget the past, as I do.
And here she extended to him her hand.
As I now do at your entreaty. But bear in mind that should there fall in your way anyone guilty of conspiring against the government, you will be so much the more bound to visit the offense with rigorous punishment, as it is known to you. As it is known you belong to a suspected family.
Alas, madame, my
Returned
profession
Villefort.
as well as the times in which we live compels me to be severe. I have already successfully conducted several public prosecutions and brought the offenders to merited punishment, but we have not done with the thing yet.
Do you indeed think so?
Inquired the Marquis.
I am at least fearful of it. Napoleon in the island of Elba is too near France, and his proximity keeps up the hopes of his partisans. Marseille is filled with half-spy officers who are daily, under one frivolous pretext or another, getting up quarrels with the royalists. From hence arise continual and fatal duels among the higher classes of persons, and assassinations in the lower.
You may have heard, perhaps.
Said the Comte de Salvieux, one of the Monsieur de Saint-Méran's oldest friends, and chamberlain to the Comte d'Artois.
That the Holy Alliance purpose removing him from thence.
Yes, they were talking about it when we left Paris.
Said Monsieur de Saint-Méran.
And where is it decided to transfer him?
To St. Helena.
For heaven's sake, where is that?
Asked the Marquise.
An island situated on the other side of the equator, at least 2,000 leagues from.
Replied the Count.
So much the better. As Villefort observes, it is a great act of folly to have left such a man between Corsica, where he was born, and Naples, of which his brother-in-law is king, and face to face with Italy, the sovereignty of which he coveted for his son.
Unfortunately,
said Villefort.
There are treaties of 1814, and we cannot molest Napoleon without breaking those compacts.
Oh, well, we shall find some way out of it.
Responded Monsieur de Salvieux.
There wasn't any trouble over treaties when it was a question of shooting the poor Duc de Egan?
French is a weird language.
It is.
Well, it seems probable that, by the aid of the Holy Alliance, we shall be rid of Napoleon, and we must trust to the vigilance of Monsieur de Villefort to purify Marseille of his partisans. The king is either a king or no king. If he be acknowledged as sovereign of France, he should be upheld in peace and tranquility, and this can best be effected by employing the most inflexible agents to put down every attempt at conspiracy. 'Tis the best and surest means of preventing mischief.
Unfortunately, madame, the strong arm of the law is not called upon to interfere until the evil has taken place.
Then all he has got to do is to endeavor to repair it.
Nay, madame, the law is frequently powerless to effect this. All it can do is to avenge the wrong done.
Oh, Monsieur de Villefort,
cried a beautiful young creature, daughter to the Comte de Salvieux, and a cherished friend of Mademoiselle de Saint-Méran.
Do try and get up some famous trial while we are at Marseille. I never was in a law court. I'm told it is so very amusing.
Amusing, certainly, inasmuch as instead of shedding tears as at the fictitious tale of woe produced at a theatre, you behold in a law court as a case of real and genuine distress, a drama of life. The prisoner whom you see pale, agitated and alarmed, instead of, as is the case when a curtain falls on a tragedy, going home to sup peacefully with his family, and then retiring to rest, as he may recommence his mimic woes on the morrow, is removed from your sight merely to be reconducted to his prison and delivered up to the executioner. I leave you to judge how far your nerves are calculated to bear you through such a scene. Of this, however, be assured, that should any favorable opportunity present itself, I will not fail to offer you the choice of being present.
For shame, Monsieur Villefort.
Said René, becoming quite pale.
Don't you see how you are frightening us? And yet you laugh.
What would you have? 'Tis like a duel I have already recorded sentence of death 5 or 6 times? Against the movers of political conspiracies, and who can say how many daggers may be ready sharpened, and only waiting a favorable opportunity to be buried in my heart.
Gracious heavens, Monsieur de Villefort.
Said René, becoming more and more terrified.
You surely are not in earnest.
Indeed I am.
Replied the young magistrate with a smile.
And an interesting trial that young lady is anxious to witness. The case would only be still more aggravated. Suppose, for instance, the prisoner, as is more than probable, to have served under Napoleon. Well, you can expect for an instant that one accustomed at the word of his commander to rush fearlessly on the very bayonets of his foe will scruple more to drive a stiletto into the heart of one he knows to be his personal enemy than to slaughter his fellow creatures, merely because bidden to do so by one he is bound to obey? Besides, one requires the excitement of being hateful in the eyes of the accused in order to lash oneself into a state of sufficient vehemence and power. I would not choose to see the man against whom I pleaded smile, as though in mockery of my words. No, my pride is to see the accused pale, agitated, and as though beaten out of all composure by the fire of my eloquence.
René uttered a smothered exclamation.
Bravo!
Cried one of the guests.
That is what I call talking to some. That is what I call talking to some. That is a awkward phrasing.
Yes. Anyway. Just the person we require at a time like the present.
Said a second.
What a splendid business that last case of yours was, my dear Villefort.
Remarked the third.
I mean the trial of a man for murdering his father. Upon my word, you killed him ere the executioner had laid his hand upon him.
Oh, as for parricides and such dreadful people as that,
Interposed René.
it matters very little what is done to them, but as regards to poor unfortunate creatures whose only crime consists in having mixed themselves up in political intrigues.
Why, that is the very worst offense they could possibly commit. For don't you see, Renee, the king is the father of his people, and he who shall plot or contrive against the life and safety of the parent of 32 millions of souls is a parricide upon a fearfully great scale.
I don't know anything about that.
Replied René.
But, Monsieur Villefort, you have promised me, have you not, always to show mercy to those I pled for?
Make yourself quite easy on that point.
Answered Villefort with one of his sweetest smiles.
You and I will always consult upon our verdicts.
My love, attend to your doves, your lapdogs, and embroidery, but do not meddle with what you do not understand.
Nowadays, the military profession is in abeyance, and the magisterial robe is the badge of honor. There is a wise Latin proverb that is very much in point.
Quident arma togae.
Said Villefort with a bow.
I cannot speak Latin.
Responded the Marquis.
Well,
Said Renee.
I cannot help regretting you had not chosen some other profession than your own. A physician, for instance. Do you know, I always felt a shudder at the idea of even a destroying angel.
Dear good Renee.
Whispered Villefort as he gazed with unutterable tenderness on the lovely speaker.
Let us hope, my child,
Cried the Marquis.
that Monsieur de Villefort may prove the moral and political physician of this province. If so, he will have achieved a noble work.
And one which will go far to efface the recollection of his father's conduct.
Added the incorrigible Marquis.
Madam,
Replied Villefort with a mournful smile.
I have already had the honor to observe that my father has, at least I hope so, abjured his past errors, and that he is, at the present moment, a firm and zealous friend to religion and order. A better royalist possibly than his son, for he has to atone for past dereliction, while I have no other impulse than warm, decided preference and conviction.
Having made his well-turned speech, Villefort looked carefully around to mark the effect of his oratory, much as he would have done had he been addressing the bench in open court.
Do you know, my dear Villefort,
Cried the Comte de Salvieux.
that is exactly what I myself said the other day at Toulaise, when questioned by His Majesty's principal chamberlain touching the singularity of an alliance between the son of a Girondin and the daughter of an officer of the Duc de Condé, and I assure you, he seemed fully to comprehend that this mode of reconciling political differences was based upon sound and excellent principles. Then the king, who, without our suspecting it, had overheard our conversation, interrupting us by saying, Villefort, observe that the king did not pronounce the word notaire, but, on the contrary, placed considerable emphasis on that of Villefort. Villefort, said His Majesty, is a young man of great judgment and discretion, one who will be sure to make a figure in his profession. I like him much, and it gave me great pleasure to hear that he was about to become the son-in-law of the Marquis and Marquess de Saint-Méran. I should myself have recommended the match, had not the noble Marquis anticipated my wishes by requesting my consent to it.
It is possible the king could have condescended so far as to express himself so favorably of me.
Asked the enraptured Villefort.
I give you his very words, and if the Marquis chooses to be candid, he will confess that they perfectly agree with what His Majesty said to him, when he went 6 months ago to consult him upon the subject of espousing his daughter.
That is true,
Answered the Marquis.
How much do I owe this gracious prince? What is there I would not do to evince my earnest gratitude?
That is right. I love to see you thus. Now then, were a conspirator to fall into your hands, he would be most welcome.
For my part, dearest mother, I trust your wishes will not prosper, and the The Providence will only permit petty officers, poor debtors, and miserable cheats to fall into Monsieur de Villefort's hands. Then I shall be contented.
Just the same as though you prayed that a physician might only be called upon to prescribe for headaches, measles, and the stings of wasps, or any other slight affection of the epidermis. If you wish to see me the king's attorney, you must desire for me some of those violent and dangerous diseases, from the cure of which so much honor rebounds to the physician.
At this moment, and as though the utterance of Villefort's wish had sufficed to effect its accomplishment, a servant entered the room and whispered a few words in his ear. Villefort immediately rose from the table and quitted the room upon the plea of urgent business. He soon, however, returned, his whole face beaming with delight. Renée regarded him with fond affection, and certainly his handsome features, lit up as they then were, with more than usual fire and animation, seemed formed to excite the innocent admiration with which she gazed on her graceful and intelligent lover.
You were wishing just now,
said Villefort, addressing her,
that I were a doctor instead of a lawyer. Well, I at least resemble the principles of Esculapulus, whatever that name is,
Escalpulus.
Escalpulus, in one thing, that of not being able to call a day my own, not even that of my betrothal.
And wherefore were you called away just now?
asked Mademoiselle de Saint Méran with an air of deep interest.
For a very serious matter which bids fair to make work for the executioner.
How dreadful!
Exclaimed Renée, turning pale.
Is it possible?
Burst simultaneously from all who were near enough to the magistrate to hear his words.
Why, if my information prove correct, a sort of Bonapartist conspiracy has just been discovered.
Can I believe my ears?
Cried the Marquis.
I will read you the letter containing the accusation at least.
Said
The
Villefort.
King's attorney is hereby informed by a friend to the throne and the religious institutions of his country that one named Edmond Dantès, mate of the ship Pharaon, this day arrived from Smyrna, after having touched at Naples and Porto Ferrajo, has been the bearer of a letter from Murat to the usurper, and again taken charge of another letter from the usurper to the Bonapartist club in Paris. Ample corroboration of this statement may be obtained by arresting the above-mentioned Edmond Dantès, who either carries the letter for Paris about with him, or has it at his father's abode. Should it not be found in the possession of father or son, then it will assuredly be discovered in the cabin belonging to the said Dantès, on board the Pharaon.
But this letter, which, after all, is but an anonymous scrawl, is not even addressed to you, but to the king's attorney.
True, but that gentleman being absent, his secretary, by his orders, opened his letters, thinking this one of importance. He sent for me, but not finding me, took upon himself to give the necessary orders for arresting the accused party.
Then the guilty person is absolutely in custody.
Cried the Marquis.
My dear mother, say the accused person. You know we cannot yet pronounce him guilty.
He is in safe custody.
Answered Villefort.
And rely upon it. If the letter is found, he will not be likely to be trusted abroad again, unless he goes forth under the special protection of the headsman.
And where is the unfortunate being?
Asked Renee.
He is at my house.
Come, come, my friend.
Interrupted the Marquise.
Do not neglect your duty to linger with us. You are the king's servant, and must go wherever that service calls you.
Oh, Villefort,
cried Renee, clasping her hands and looking toward her lover with piteous earnestness.
be merciful on this day of our betrothal.
The young man passed round to the side of the table where the fair pleader sat, and leaning over her chair, said tenderly,
To give you pleasure, my sweet Renee, I promise to show all the lenity in my power. But if the charges brought against this Bonapartist hero prove correct, why then, you really must give me leave to order his head to be cut off.
Renee shuddered at the word cut, for the growth in question had a head.
Never mind that foolish girl, Villefort. She will soon get over these things.
So saying, Madame de Semeron extended her dry, bony hand to Villefort, who, while imprinting a son-in-law's respectful salute on it, looked at Renee as much as to say, I must try and fancy 'tis your dear hand I kiss, as it should have been.
These are mournful auspices to accompany a betrothal.
Sighed poor Renee.
Upon my word, child, your folly exceeds all bounds. I should be glad to know what a connection there can possibly be between your sickly sentimentality and the affairs of the state.
Oh, mother,
Murmured Renee.
Nay, madame, I pray you pardon this little traitor. I promise you that to make up for her want of loyalty, I will be most inflexibly severe.
Then, casting an expressive glance at his betrothed, which seemed to say,
Fear not for your sake. My justice shall be tempered with mercy.
and, receiving a sweet and approving smile in return, Villefort departed with paradise in his heart. End of chapter.
hate them all.
I definitely do not like what's my character's name?
Villefort.
Villefort.
Yeah, I don't like him.
You can switch characters next time we read.
He's a preening popinjay, and he very much enjoys the spotlight.
I mean, I kind of like him. I'll be honest.
Another mustache twirler.
Every scene I'm imagining being read like a simple Southern lawyer.
Oh, we got that one going back. You gotta take him. You have to take him next time.
Oh. Well,
The king's attorney has informed by a friend to the throne and the religious institutions of his country that one named Edmond Dantès, mate of the ship Pharaon, this day arrived from Simri, after having touched Naples and Portoferro, has been the bearer of a letter from Murat to the usurper, and again taken charge of another letter.
Yeah, the role's yours. You don't have to prove it anymore. It's definitely yours.
wow. So,
These are
okay.
bad guys.
Question though. Here, there's four bad guys so far. We have Danglars, who's being read by Ye. Now we have Villefort, who's also being read by Ye. We have Fernand, who read Fernand?
I think that may have been me.
Okay, like he can't take all the villains. That would be dreadfully unfair.
You're all the villains. I will be the monster.
I mean, when it comes to voice acting, he definitely has range. I do not have the ability to change my voice the way he does.
You guys are all super talented. Thank you for reading. I know it was a little bit of a challenge since each one of you had at least 3 roles to read. And honestly, I lost track of the colors. So I was just like, yes, I only have to be narrator. I don't have to keep track of which colors to do. So let's discuss. Okay, so I see that Ye made his dislike of this man very apparent. Anybody want to say otherwise?
Wait, Ye did, or was that me?
Clarify that I dislike the Marquise the most.
Okay.
As she is she is like the most ridiculous, over the top French noble of all, and every instinct of my Jacobin heart is to break out the guillotine.
She's a very much enjoyer of political intrigue, and I agree with you. I do not like that either.
Yeah, I was calling for the guillotine while she was out there. She reminds me of many other similar characters. I was thinking of some from Dickens.
Elvira?
No. Shush you! I am about to time you out. Time out. No. I was gonna time you out.
Storm the Bastille.
No, but I don't know, authors really like to show maybe people were like this. They were pompous, I don't know, they were just so yucky. So yeah, this lady, she really pissed. Oh, you know what she reminded me of? Anybody read with me Jane Eyre? Theo, you read with me Jane Eyre. Do you remember Blanche's mom?
It's there as well.
Yes, that's Blanche's mom right there. Yeah. No wonder I was like, oh, this woman, she's just makes me just shudder, and I hated her. So yes.
In a way, she's kind of similar to Rachel, who very much loves gossip and intrigue around her small island.
Rachel.
Anne of Green Gables.
Oh, Rachel, yes.
Lynn.
Mrs. Rachel Lynn, yes. Yeah. So we have a nice cast of characters. So the main 3 ones that we should talk about here are, we have Villefort, which is the introduction of this chapter, which he is basically, as Ye so eloquently put it, what was it? Pompous and what? He used so many.
He's very pompous. He is
a popinjay.
I'm the one who said Popinjay.
Oh, okay.
He is so far up his own butt, he can see the light.
You guys. All right. So,
that is definitely a mental image.
I'm trying not to the good thing about not having imagination is not being able to imagine that. So there we go. All right. So we had Villefort. He is the magistrate, but he's not quite he has, in Spanish we say cola que le pisan. He has a tail that somebody can step on. Like there's something in his background that's kind of problematic, which he's trying to distance himself from. And what is it, you guys?
It was briefly mentioned that his father was a Bonapartist. It's the scandal.
Though he kind of tried to sweep that under the rug, saying, "Oh yeah, he's a loyal royalist now, so don't worry about him anymore."
Sure. So he has to kind of prove his loyalty. So that's what is the lady, his soon-to-be mother-in-law, the Marquise, whatever. I was switching back and forth. So she is the grand old lady who is saying oh, the king is the best and whatnot, and telling him, you have to prove yourself. You have to be extra severe in the Bonapartists because of your past history. So we have those two characters. Who is the third character that that you guys think we should talk about? There was the third one.
Renee.
Mm-hmm. And what is some interesting about Renee? What does she seem like?
She seems more amenable to the possible innocence of his victims.
Mm-hmm.
I
especially liked the... Okay, so like when they arrested Edmond, they were like, "Oh," her mother was like, "Where is the guilty man?" And she's like, "Wait a second, he's not been tried. He is he's a suspect. He's not guilty, you know." So she has a heart of like mercy, and she's kind of like, I'm like, girl, what do you see in this man? Honestly, like, why?
I found it interesting that she admonished her newly husband, or not husband, her mother.
Oh, her mother.
Yes, she admonished her mother because her mother was, very quick to condemn someone as guilty, and she's like, no, he's still accused. Mm-hmm. He still needs to be proven guilty or innocent.
Yes. Yeah, it was his mom actually that said that. Where is this guilty person? Let me look. Okay, here's the passage. Again, the mother is described as being like a desert, but in her heart, the only kind of softness there is towards her daughter. So they really are fond of her daughter, and she seems to be a nice girl. I feel sorry for her because I watched the movie. That's all I can say. I want to let's talk about it later. I'm sure we'll have plenty of other opportunities, but just saying, like, it strikes me as very interesting choice. She should probably have married a doctor. She would have been a great doctor's wife, because a doctor has, they were kind of like comparing, like, oh, you were saying that I should probably be better as a doctor, but like, even doctors, like, they would if they only treated like patients that are not so sick, they would only be doing like little menial things, and so I mean, I still say that she would have been better off marrying somebody else.
Yeah, the doctor might have been able to do something about her lack of spine.
Ouch. No, I think she very much enjoys the debate of being an attorney. So I think she's very much at home being married to
an attorney.
While a villain, he is a good match for her.
We don't know whether he's a villain or not. He said he was going to be fair. Remember, you guys? He said he was going to be fair. We don't know yet.
I already called him a preening popinjay. I know. Look, growing up in the 90s, every time you saw some kind of legal drama, the lawyers were always depicted as scum.
They're still depicted as scum.
Oh, they definitely are. I was getting there. But growing up and maturing, you actually pay attention, and you can understand their positions better. They're still scum, though.
I hesitate to say that they are all scum, because one of my besties, well, she's still trying to pass the bar exam, God bless her soul. But she's not a bad person. She is a character, like, she's very much at home with, like, speaking in public and, making her opinions be heard and such. So, well, personally, I don't care for lawyers. Hopefully, not all lawyers that we encounter in this book will turn out to be bad, but we can't.
Well, I mean, some of my favorite channels on YouTube have been lawyer channels, like The Legal Mindset, or others similarly themed.
Yeah. Well, it's just kind of like a stereotype, I guess. Yeah. I I wanted to bring up what you said, something about her growing a spine. Tell me more about this.
Something about her that's just, I don't know, that the like, every time I read a line from her, it was just she's this waifish, constantly praising Villefort, etc. And there's nothing I can do. I'm just so innocent. I understand she's not a terrible person, but I just not my kind of character.
So here's something that I find really interesting, because I don't know if it's a product of the time, where the writers, a lot of times they just kind of wrote women as the weaker sex, and so they kind of made them like weak-minded, weak-willed. Like, for example, Mercedes, right? If it had been any like a true hot-blooded woman of her time and her place and of her people, she would have fought for her man, or at least she would have like at least not given into despair. Like, okay, I don't expect her to like fight
You
the
really
soldiers.
don't like her, do you?
No. No. I'm not saying that. I just right now I'm like, where are the like strong female characters?
Yeah,
but I can't be too too hopeful that we'll have a lot of very like driven female characters, because it's a product of the time, and the writers are male, and they idealize a certain kind of female characteristics. So like a lot of Dickens books, this is like where I base myself off of a lot, is the protagonists are usually like long-suffering, very like they were like almost saintly like qualities. So you see that in every single one. For example, like Little Dorrit, you saw that in I don't know, just so many of those. You can either have a woman who is either a saint or a slut, and unfortunately there's no way that they can like so if she's a strong, fiery, gonna go and ride the horses and do all these things, she's going to be like bad character. But if she is like patient and womanly and kind of like it's oh my god, so it's just a product of the thing. So we'll just have to keep that in mind. It's a product of the era.
I know.
I think a lot of women of this era were influenced by people like Saint Paul the Apostle, who said effectively that women are to be seen and not heard.
I will say, I do like that the Marquess was taking shit from nobody. I disagree with her vehemently on everything, but...
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, as a Marquess, or Marquis, or Marquise, or whatever, Teal, any thoughts about that? Or about any of the other
On
things?
the pronunciation or the character?
Both, please. Because I think I was just trying to feel the pronunciation. Marquis, right? Or
I think the Marquise is a very strong lady.
Mm-hmm.
You're right that oftentimes the most strong-willed women are painted as villains in historical fiction. But I also feel like Renee isn't like a total shrinking violet. She is pleading for mercy for this man, or Edmond Dantès.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't like, oh, whatever you do, Villefort, I'll be okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, please, mercy for this man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
I was hoping someone would
like kill him.
I was hoping someone would plead Renee's case, because I seem to have a certain reputation when I start pleading my case.
Never, of course not.
But of course, she comes off quite like histrionic, very
really
histrionic, yeah,
well,
dramatic.
She loves to be pampered. You can tell she's very high maintenance.
Fair enough.
The Marquise is like, go play with your lap dogs and your embroidery and your doves.
the infantilizing
The adults are
of
talking.
adult
Yes.
women in literature
Mhm.
drives me up the effing wall. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, again, I'm reading it, keeping that in mind. But yeah, Renee is certainly...
It's actually
Yeah,
one of the things I like so much about Bookworm is mine takes shit from nobody.
Well, she actually had to be trained to have a spine because when she first met Benno, she would fold for just about anybody.
Yeah, but even then she was scheming about it. Like, even when she couldn't fight directly, there at no point is she backing down from what she wants. She just recognizes she might not be able to win a fight.
I mean, there were certain things like the prices of books that she would absolutely not fold for, but for the most part, Benno was able to dominate any conversation that they had. But we're talking about something other than Bookworm.
We are rather. I'm looking through the comments and I see that Crusher is here. Crusher, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you? Happy to see you. If you're able to hop aboard the voice chat. Also, I saw a new person in the chat, and that is Eric Busam. Eric, hello, welcome. How are you? I send you lots of hearts. I hope you can see them. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Crusher say Villafort, more like villain fart. Yes, Foghorn Villafort. And then I think Crusher is saying about yay, you have range. Yeah, there you go. Nice compliment. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Teal is correcting us or giving us a little bit more insight about how to pronounce Marquis. It'll be like Marquet and Marquise. It's Marquise, maybe. Marquise.
Yeah, French isn't a real language.
Let's see. Crusher says, my enemies are many, my equals are none. In the shade of olive trees, they said Italy could never be conquered. In the land of the pharaohs and kings, they said Egypt could never be humbled. In the realm of forest and snow, they said Russia could never be tamed. Russia was never tamed, though. Was it by him? Now they say nothing. They fear me like a force of nature, a dealer in thunder and death. I say I am Napoleon, I am emperor. But Napoleon, you didn't make it out of Russia. Oh no.
I was gonna say he like many people failed to tame Russia.
Yes, Russia is woe to him who tries to besiege Russia, especially in the winter.
Also, he sucked, you know.
All right. So
Did I ever mention
what?
I had a distant ancestor relative get conscripted into Napoleon's army.
Ooh.
From Switzerland.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Do you have see, do you have like how do they keep records of that though? I mean, through the church's registry or?
I'm not sure, and some of these stories of my family might be apocryphal, but they looked into, in some kind of ancestry search, and
dang,
that came up.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, he reached that far north and conscripted the people, the shameless hussy. the other, I don't know. All right, let's see. That's pretty cool, though. I mean, not cool for him, but the fact that you have that registry or that record or whatever, that's awesome. I don't know how to do that from my side of the family, but I wish I could look up what ancestry is.
I've actually done that. I've looked up like famous ancestors, and they're all terrible. It's so sad.
I heard. Okay, so I have some family friends. They always go up to Utah to ski in the winter, and then one of their friends, she's an older lady, and she says she likes to go and explore the family registries. I'm like, family registries? Apparently, I think it's the Church of Latter-day Saints. They keep a really, 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 really good record of family lineage from like years and years and years past. So yeah, I think it's awesome. Like, you can look up your relatives. Not awesome if you find out that they are terrible people. Maybe maybe not all of them. Maybe you can still find a redeeming family member.
I literally, the only two famous people in my ancestry are John Billington, the first murderer in Plymouth, and fucking Benedict Arnold.
Oh no!
Wow, Benedict Arnold.
Dang!
Wow.
That's some really old history.
Oh no! Oh, that's like in Mexico saying that you were descended from La Malinche. Same kind of traitor situation, though. It's different situation, but
I wonder if I can go back far enough if I can find Judas too.
no.
I think Judas effectively cut his family line.
Yeah, he hung himself. So.
He could have left issue though. He could have. Maybe before he joined Jesus.
He did not. The only apostle who was married was Peter.
I guess I'll have to settle for Brutus and Cassius.
No, we have to assign you. No, you're just picking the worst of them. We have to assign you a good historical character. So let's see. Let's said England, right? You guys, I suck at history and stuff. Think of like a
Scottish English.
Not some Scottish, something good.
No, it's Cromwell.
Cromwell. No. All right, you guys. I think we're only making it worse right now. Let's see. Crusher says, I'm guessing Magpie is looking more of a Deborah type character than a Hannah type character. I like both characters. I would like to see a little bit more diversity. Not all characters need to be strong women or strong female characters. And I guess I should make this distinction. Just because you are not, wielding swords and you're not riding, your horse into battle or, whatever. That doesn't, and you stay home and do the things that you need to do, that doesn't make you less of a strong female character. Sometimes my inner misogyny tends to rear up its ugly head. But yeah, let me make that
Your
disclaimer.
inner misogyny.
Hey, we have to make that distinction, and yeah, there have been very, very strong women who they never held a gun, never fought the pirates, never did anything like that, but they were still incredible and very admirable characters and people throughout history. So yeah.
Well, in my ancestry, my family is related through marriage to the very first American president to be impeached.
All.
Huh.
Is that Nixon? I don't know.
No, Andrew Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not that good at history. I was grasping at straws. I'm like, who?
I'd be like, we're too far into U.S. history. I don't know this part.
Oh, American history is amazing. It's definitely worth getting into.
And I don't know. I'm one of those people who, the moment the gun is invented, politics becomes complicated, and I'm less interested.
Well, we all have our different.
It's the great equalizer.
We all have our different interests. So yeah, I agree. History and all kinds of stuff is pretty interesting. Though I suck at it, but we do our best. All right, folks. So we're nearing the end of our read along. Just wanted to say thank you all for joining us. I had a lot of fun, and especially because we kind of missed out on our read-alongs Wednesday and Friday last week. So sorry about that, and I'm glad that you guys are here. If you were here in the live, happy to have you here. And if you are listening to the replay, also overjoyed that you're here with us. Just want to say a huge thank you to the following people who read today. Let's see, we had Teal who read the following rules. Marquise de Saint-Méran, Renée's friend, and miscellaneous guest number 3. Patrick read Gerard de Villefort, which he is not going to read again. Apparently he hates him too much. We have
Agreed.
We have the old nobleman. We have Magus Marquis de Saint-Méran.
Magus!
It was either Magus or Mangus. Mangos.
Flamengo.
Magoo.
Goes!
Marquis de Saint-Méran and miscellaneous guest. And then Ye read Renee, the Comte de Salvieux, and miscellaneous guest number 2. And I read the narration, and highlights were brought to you by none other than our wonderful highlighter extraordinaire, Teal. Thank you so much, Teal.
No, don't mention it.
Yes.
And as always, we're happy to have you here. If you want to join us for the next read-along, we are going to have plenty of reading parts, so hop on in Friday at 1 p.m. Oh, and after that, by the way, I didn't tell you guys, but letting you guys know, after that, we're going to be watching Dune Part 2, because I haven't watched it, so we're going to have a little watch party. So join us. You can do so by hopping aboard my YouTube channel, clicking the join button in the Chattering Magpie channel. And if you join at the Noble tier, you can become one of our, one of the mischief here.
Discord members. You can join me and you can annoy Magpie.
Okay, well, you can try to annoy me, but I have decided that I'm going to channel my inner Renee and be long-suffering and genteel and angelic-like. Because maybe...
Wait. I thought you said she was too submissive.
Well, maybe I can
I'm getting some mixed signals here, Magpie.
Maybe not submissive, too kind of like me, weak. Not submissive, I didn't say that. Never, ever. All right. So, bye, Red Tempest, and thank you for joining us too. Thank you for joining us, Crusher, and all the other ones in the chat, especially, who was Newy? A little butterfly was also here. Where's the Newy person? Oh, Eric was
Eric.
Yes. Join us on Friday at 1 o'clock Pacific time to continue reading the rest of the book. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Say bye-bye, gang.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.
That will be all the villains.
Yes.